So as the United States is doing nothing substantive at the moment when it comes to policy, no real groundbreaking ideas or bold steps in a different direction. As that's going on, there are other countries that are beginning to experiment with some really radical ideas. Now, I call them radical. I would argue they're actually much more common sense than radical, but you get the point. So first, let me show you a clip here discussing a move from the UAE, United Arab Emirates, with their work week. The UAE is experimenting with a 4.5-day work week. Let's watch, and then we'll discuss.
The United Arab Emirates moving to a 4.5-day work week. The government says that this is all in an effort to boost productivity and improve work-life balance. Now, it's not 4.5 hours, it's 4.5 days. Here's Malcolm Johnson with a closer look.
The changes go into effect for all UAE federal employees on midnight at the start of the new year. You can see the announcement just made in the tweet. It says Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday will all form the new weekend. Working hours will be 8 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, and 4.5 hours on Friday. It's unclear if companies in the private sector will follow suit, but a number of Muslim-majority countries, for example, Saudi Arabia, operate on a Sunday to Thursday week, so Friday prayers can be observed. The new weekend structure is also expected to help the UAE align with other global powers on trade. Now, it's believed by some experts that shorter work weeks can actually lead to increased productivity and quality of life for all employees. A number of companies worldwide have already switched over to a 4-day work week, and a number of countries like Iceland, Ireland, Scotland, Spain, and Japan are announcing plans for a pilot 4-day work week. In the studio, I'm Malcolm Johnson. Back over to you.
Speak for everyone here. Still waiting for that announcement here.
4 would be better than 4.5, though.
Yeah, but you got to take what you can get, Alyssa.
I know.
You got to take what you can get.
I kept in that banter at the end to illustrate a point here that even people who make decent money and have good careers are like, I would love that. So this is an issue where it's basically, I would say probably the bottom 99% are like, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Actually, I mean, that's not fair to say it like that. I don't know what a poll's at, but my guess would be like 55 or 60%. But there are people sprinkled in throughout the bottom 99% who are like, yeah, let's do that. So even people, I don't know what they make, but my guess is at least like $200,000 a year or whatever this local news affiliate is for these people. They're like, I would love a 4-day work week. There have been a number of studies at this point, and either productivity stays the same when you work fewer hours, or there's some studies where productivity increases when you work 4 days instead of 5 days. So, I mean, that says it all right there. If you could actually increase productivity and limit the number of hours worked, why wouldn't you do that? And listen, when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. If you have an extra day off, you get more rest, you probably get more sleep, you handle whatever stuff you got to handle outside of work, you're able to take care of that stuff better than you would in a 5-day work week. So you sort of have things more orderly, and then when you're at work, you can be more mentally sharp and actually focused on what you're doing. So it makes sense that you shorten the number of hours at work, but you increase the productivity. But look, even having the conversation from the productivity perspective is not the end-all be-all to me, because even if productivity were to go down a little bit, I still wouldn't care. I still think as a matter of principle it's better, because we need a better work-life, leisure-life balance, particularly in this country. I mean, we're being out-lefted by the UAE when it comes to the economy, for Christ's sake. Think about that. The UAE is outflanking us on the left. I mean, and we don't even have, every other developed country has paid vacation time by law, paid maternity leave by law. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't have paid vacation time by law. If you have paid vacation time, it's just because your employer, through their own volition, decided we'll give people some paid time off. But we don't have a law about it. Other countries have laws about that stuff. So I would definitely move to a 4-day work week. But we got another country that's out-lefting us in a very significant way. So take a look at this. This is in Barbados today. Government plans universal income for all. So let me explain that a little bit for you. Now, Barbados, in 1966, they gained a little bit of independence. There was still a commonwealth of the UK, but they gained a little bit of independence. Well, now, just recently, within the past month, they got full independence. So now, instead of the Queen being the head of state, now it's either the Prime Minister or the President of Barbados. I'm not sure if they have a Prime Minister or a President. I think it's Prime Minister, but now that person is the head of state. So now they're fully independent in Barbados. And immediately, now they're talking about, we should probably do some UBI type stuff. Look, small island nation, but credit to them for, experimenting with an idea like this. So they want to call it the citizens' dividend. It's combined with an annual reverse tax credit, which together would make a sort of universal basic income. This was the most interesting quote in the article that I found. Get this, quote, despite all the pressure from international agencies to quote, target, we hold the line on universality. That's why we restored free tertiary education for all. So in other words, I don't know if it's the World Trade Organization or the IMF or the UN or whoever, but there are international bodies that were pressuring them. Don't do means testing. Don't do universal. Do means testing. Because they're saying there's pressure from international agencies to target it, to do means testing as opposed to a universal approach. And they said, no, we're going to do universal. And that's why we also did restored free tertiary education for all. So in other words, it appeared like when they were a Commonwealth, they were being held back from these more radical ideas for the economy. And now they're like, well, we're fully independent now, so we're going to try it the way we want to try it. And they have some really forward-thinking, intelligent ideas. So you have Barbados doing UBI. You have the UAE doing a 4.5-day work week. You have pilot programs in all those different countries that they listed in that news segment. And what are we doing? Really is embarrassing, isn't it? I would implement both of these programs in the U.S. right now. I would do a UBI and I would do a 4-day work week. And then you sit back and watch those poll numbers on happiness shoot through the roof, because I guarantee you that would happen. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.